Hello, Tiki Gray here, and I'm going to be going over how to deal with lizard base trades if you are playing Squirrels. To replays go over, this isn't exactly a comprehensive guide, this is a basic overview with some tips and some general guidelines to dealing with a lizard player who's trying to base trade you. Now, this map and this replay, you can realize there's a choke point to my base, which makes things a lot easier, but a lot of principles are still the same here. Now, base trades. So there's this kind of. Oh, there's a lot of different types of base trades, but can roughly be boiled down into three categories. Which is it's Squirrel Army versus Squirrel Army. Since all units are either Swift or not Swift, the only Swift units are Fox, Lizard, and Wolfpuff units. So for the intentions of base trades, it's basically there's non-Swift armies versus non-Swift armies base trades, Swift armies versus Swift armies, and a Swift army versus a non-Swift army. And basically, if the armies are equal speed, what you want more food to put down more mills, and then it's all up to this chance and decision making. Like whoever's army, like if one player moves their army out on the map and the instant you leave base, they go and kill your mill or something. Or if one player just has an initiative on the base trade, just do the army positioning. It's basically luck decision making. Who has more money to buy mills and all that. And then we get to the ever-present issue of lizards versus Squirrels, because the Squirrel player wants to do something, but instead they get base traded by a lizard player who just runs in. Meanwhile, the lizard player goes massive eco, or just slowly harasses the Squirrel player to death, and we're going to talk about how to get around it. Speed this up. So as you can see, Jin's notorious for his lizard eco play, or lizard mine eco play, and just eco play in general. He has very, very greedy player. But he's like good at being greedy, where he can still keep you he still gets map pressure, map control, and whatnot. And very good at keeping his greed safe, so to speak. So when you're fighting a mass of lizards who are trying to base trade you, basically what you want to do, you're basically going to have to split your army, and you need a somewhat big army. You're basically trying to outskill the lizards, which is basically, there's two really good ways to do that. And I usually do it with 4 skunks, which we'll see in the next game. But 4 skunks next to a mill will stop a base trade unless there's like 60 lizards. A boar is also extremely good at stopping a lizard base trade, as we'll see in this replay. 4 chameleons can work, but if the chameleons are on one side of the mill and the lizards show up on the underside of the mill, well, you're probably still going to end up losing the mill. Or if there's enough lizards, honestly, those end up killing 4 cams, but there has to be a ton of lizards. Oh yeah, so here, anyway, so I realized he's going super greedy and he's ahead, so I just, I also know there's mines on the map. So I decided to start, if he tries to engage me in the water, I basically win, since lizards are so slow, they just get shot to death before they start killing me if it's in water. But I decide to send my cams over this way so I can kill all 4 of his farms, and I leave the Squirrels next to the mill. Honestly, it would have been better if I left them like right here even. Or, well, I need to leave them right here, because if he goes after my cams, I need my Squirrels to come from behind. And I need the Squirrels to stop the lizards from going after the cams. And I put the Squirrels here because if I put them next to the mill, there's less tiles for the lizards to find. So even though he still ultimately wins the fight, it goes much better for me than it would if it was completely open terrain. I should not have built this farm, since I was kind of expecting to lose this fight right here. So I should have not built this farm, because it's a complete waste. Yeah, I kill all 4 of these farms, I come back. Save this one right here, Jin overextends a little. Now I kind of messed up with my cam micro, and I really should have saved this cam, but I'm bad. Like, I should have pulled it back before when I was on 5 HP, instead I let it die, which is really unfortunate. But still a really nice trade for me. Because it turns our eco back to equal, pretty much. But he has this very, very exposed mill, and it's going to be hard for him to defend this. And as you see, now he's just going to per lizard. Since he's so behind on army, he probably just wants to try to base trade. So yeah, speed this up a little. eco. I decided to go kill the fact that I can reach these 3 farms from here, so I go ahead and pick this off. That's a nice free farm for me. I'm really hot on the eco tempo right now, just have more farms. Now I'm building the boar since... Okay, this is extremely bizarre. I have no idea why I did this. Like... I remember playing this game, and it's like a attack caught me so off guard, because I don't know why I thought it would work. Or, well, I had no idea what it was. But anyway, so now I put down the boar. Because I want to figure out a way to move out on the map. Because I don't want to stay on my base, because I know Jen's going to have, like, you know, take, like, both these mills. Like, just put 16 farms across these 2 mills and just have a massive eco advantage. And I'm worried he has, like, owl or wolf owl or, like, wolf badger. Some sort of tier 3 behind this. Like, this boar is nice, but against owl, I don't have pigeons, which is problematic. And, like, this deck is not the best late game composition. I'm really worried Jen has a better one. So I'm trying to end things sooner than later. And I realized that mass lizards is really not a good composition, so I decided to strike soon. So here's what I do. Okay, so I just... Here, this is what you do to stop a base trade against it. If it's just like per lizard, like, just out-tech them. So just have a bunch of skills, then have, like, say 4 cams. Like, if you have cam skunk in your deck, leave 4 skunks at the base, bring 4 cams with your skills, or however many cams. You could maybe leave the cams at your base, or at your mill, but that's... Okay, leave it at the mill of farms on it, by the way. And just, like, rally it right next to the mill itself. Only leave cams, though, in my opinion, if you know where the lizards are coming from, or if there's only one direction into the mill, because otherwise lizards are just going to come from the other side and just kill the mill, without issue, probably. They'll probably burst down the mill enough before cams can do enough damage. Skunks also kind of suffer from the issue, but at least they have range, so they can start covering this area in gas. If they're on, like, skunks can still cover the opposite side of the mill in gas. Cams have to spend fatal time trying to move around. So I'm just pushing it across now. And yeah, when there's mines on the map, it's pretty simple. Go on farms, go on water, since you can't put mines on that terrain. And, yeah. And I know he can't attack me without losing, because, like, he has to go across the water, which is really, really bad for him. Yeah, I see, I left the boar, so... You can see he's like, oh shit, what do I do now? Oh, it's kind of surprising. He still almost got the mill down to half health, despite a boar being there. And again, that's why I'm a little hesitant about leaving cams to do the job, because, like, if the lizards come from a good angle where the cams, like, aren't directly there, or, like, on some other part of the mill, like, if there's enough lizards, they'll just kill the mill before the cams do enough damage. Yeah, it should also have, like, defense, like, say, wire, mines, or MGs to beef up the mill defense. I'll also put that down. That's really helpful. Let's look at the other one. Gaming it's Meek. He's running Wizard Ferret, Mine, Wire, MG. I'm running Pigeon and Skill, Skunk Snake, Badger, MG. It's a really interesting deck. I'd prefer to drop the Ferret for Tier 3. I think that would make this deck much better, since the core of this deck is Squizzard structure play, which is some really interesting contain opportunities, or just super aggressive base trade opportunities, since these defenses will stop base trades from happening from the opponent. Yeah, I'm just being very paranoid since this Mickey loves to rush. Or maybe I did scout the rush here. So this really annoys me. Okay, I have a Squirrel, one Squirrel and an MG, and he still kills the pig. Like for whatever reason, like, all my units decide to, like, not focus fire the 3 lizards. You can see all 3 lizards had, like, 1 HP, which is ridiculous. But the fact that I lost the pig there was infuriating. Anyway. Well, this isn't the worst map for stopping lizards, since my mill's in the corner, it's still like you only need 2 inches and 2 inches into a base to like flank and stuff. And this is not a good map for me since there's so much water and cliff in the way. Like I have to take a really roundabout route in order to base trade him. Anyway, let's speed this up till we get to the base trade part of the game. This is also going to kind of get into what to do if the lizard player is really ahead in eco. And I guess it kind of theoretically applies if anyone's ahead in eco and you have superior army. Well, actually, it doesn't really happen in better armies since people aren't going to have an inferior army unless they like fuck up somehow. But we got these very forward MGs, which are interesting. I'm not entirely sure on the point of these. I guess it's just like maybe if I walk into these to try to clear them, he comes into the lizards and kills me, something. They actually see this, but my Squirrels are just so slow. I kill 1 lizard there. That was wonderful, despite so much DPS. So you know, like 10 Squirrels are like half health. Only 1 kill though. Getting my skunks out. So again, with Squirrels, if I'm fighting lizards and I have skunks in my deck, I usually, my first go-to, or like when I start tucking up, I really like to do 4 skunks, since it's excellent defensively against lizards, but it's also really, really good in general against lizards, like aggressively. Very useful. So at this point, I'm floating a ton of food, and I can't be aggressive, unfortunately. Yeah, look, like he runs around. Like, I'm already coming back, and he still gets picked. Like, god damn it. And I have no idea how many farms he has, but I know he has more than me. This is a really bad situation. Like, I can't defend this. Like, and more importantly, I can't attack and end the game out of this, so. It's like, what to do? Alright, I'm trying to check the army. I guess not scout the Badger, but at this point he will definitely be suspecting a tier 3 out of me. Put down 2 MGs, but then decide to sell to get the Badger out. Then he launches an attack with Ferrets. Yeah, I kind of kite briefly, but a lot of the time, like, you don't kite lizards. And you don't kite Wolf Death Phoenix. Like, you just stand and fight. Because if you kite, the lizards just run through the skunk gas. If you stand, they have to stay in the skunk gas to hit your skunks. So it was a kind of a close fight, but I still took it by a really nice margin. I really needed that. Now the badge is about to come out. And Meek did not eco as much as he could have, fortunately for me. That Badger comes out, I start pushing. Yeah, Badgers are so fragile, and he has a lot of DPS, especially the mines. Like, 2 mines would kill the Badger right now. Or, yeah, 2 mines would kill a Badger. So I'm very paranoid right now. But I decided to see if I can at least finish off these 2 warrens, but he does sell them. Go off the Ferrets. Accidentally take the long way around the forest because I'm bad. And I realize he's sending rallying units away. Fortunately, I pick off another war and do the pigeon vision, which is really nice. So I started heading back to my base. 3 farms versus 2, so he has 50% more economy. It's still a very complicated situation. And again, like I still have the same problem. I pretty much can't attack. Since if I attack, he's just gonna base trade me at lizards. So yeah, I'm trying to probe around, but I know he's running around. It's just not good. So here's what you can't do. I'm not going to do what I did last game where I leave units at home, since unfortunately I'm way too behind in eco to do this. So in a situation like this, what you want to do is, well, you want to have a ton of food for a ton of mills. And you want to base trade, because you can, if everyone loses all their warrens and all their mills, I mean, but they have, like, you know, 4 more farms than you, and they lose like, you basically reset the game back to status quo. Or, maybe not status quo is the right word there, but you reset it back to being equal, pretty much. And that is my plan here. But basically, you put as much mills down as possible, and you find a nether mill on the map that you want to relocate to. We have a bunch of fresh farms, or one that's easier to defend. Not quite doing anything. I'm just trying to see if I can find opportunities, and like it's just not working. Fortunately, I do get a lot of value here, which is really nice. Or not a lot, but a little. So that's the first time scouting for more farms, and I realize this really isn't going to work. Although I do end up putting more farms on this, so I try to think of something. I was actually going to take that mill, but then I realized he took it. So he's really starting to go up now, which is problematic for me. So yeah, I start taking these mills since I'm preparing for the base trade. But now I decide to go back since he has the jump on me with clearing these mills. And I would just lose the base trade since I only have 1 mill left and this campfire is not done. Or even close to done. So now I decide with the campfire, this mill. It would have been nice if I bought this mill too, but I didn't. I decided I'm in a good position for a base race since I'm outside of his base, but his lizards are in his base. And now I go for it. Yeah, skipping the warrants for now since I want to focus on his mills. Now, okay, so I know I'm not killing this mill because I'm trying to end the game. Since I know he has this mill right here. I'm killing this mill so I can take it for myself. And this is a very safe mill to defend. This one, if I destroy this mill and take it, then go kill this mill, like he's just gonna come from behind the lizards and kill this mill before I can do anything. It's much safer to take this mill. It's slower, but it's safer. And that was, I figured I'd have enough time. Also took this mill. I'm cleaning out this mill. I'm starving right now. And I barely get the mill down and put down the farm. Now, I wanted to barrel back to my home base to sell off a Squirrel Warren, but unfortunately I didn't have anywhere to barrel back to, so I was like, fuck. And so me kind of makes a mistake. He buys both these mills. I would have only bought one of them since, like, we both have no income. And, like, we both have no warrants to sell off, which is really bad. So it basically comes down to who has more money to put in the farms right away and rebuild that faster. So now we're going to get to another base trade situation. Because now we're going to get into a situation that's very similar to Jin, where I'm kind of ahead. Although in Jin's game, it was kind of eco. I mean, it was kind of equal in terms of food, but he was putting all his food into more eco instead of army, while I was putting my food in army and it's had a better composition. So yeah, Meek's just behind on the eco tempo a lot since he shouldn't have built a mill. He should have started with 2 farms. He might even be ahead of me right now then. Speeding this up so I can get to the base trade. Meekus, I don't know why he floated food. And like, a player shouldn't be doing this, but like, it's I can still show off what I mean. I'm actually really curious why I did this. Well, like, why would you put a warren down instead of getting, farms? Maybe you figured he was so behind it wasn't worth it to try to get more farms. Just double down, put everything in and try in a base trade. Just trying to. I actually do catch out 4 lizards here, which is really nice. So, well, either 4 or 5. I don't know. Tries to come in. He does get 1 pig, but like it's not worth it, especially when he has no economy to rebuild. And now basically plan it's pretty much the same as tasking. I'm gonna get 4 skunks, leave 4 skunks on my mill, and move out with the rest of my army. Laying down MGs just to bolster the skunk defense. Let's come around. Okay, now he finally goes eco, but it's a bit late for that. Putting more in, so I'm putting a lot more MGs right here since I'm gonna leave. Okay, I guess I leave my skunks right here. This is a pretty good angle since he can't really. If he tries to leave his lizards right here, I'll just trap his lizards in the corner and kill them if he puts them here. So I don't really need to worry a whole lot about them coming in from this way. I need to worry about them coming around this way and through this way. So yeah, I just leave 4 skunks rally with a generous amount of MGs. Once again, that's the only way to lose. I can lose the game. I always figure out what the only way. When you're ahead, find out how you lose the game, then avoid doing that. Since a lot of people don't seem to do that because they're like really ahead, then they like lose the game the only possible way they can lose it. Don't do that. Grabbing the campfire just in case he somehow does kill the mill. Yeah, as you can see, he goes in. And okay, so like I already have my army rallied to this mill, and this is his only mill economy. Like I don't need to micro this army. Like I have time on my side. I just need to focus on keeping this mill from dying. So I whirl back, put down more MGs. And like honestly, 13 lizards is not gonna get through this. So yeah, basically in summary, if you're fighting Tony's going mass lizard. And if you're going Mass Lizard, probably going Eco 2, or maybe you're going Mass Lizard Tier 3 behind it. Or they're doing something, and you basically you need to move out at some point. If you're going, like, if they have Wolf Owl behind it, like, you need to go deal with that before it comes out. Or if they have, like, they're just going massive Eco, you need to deal with it. So the way you deal against that is by outskilling the lizards and splitting your army up. You leave some of your army to defend, and use individual rallies to have the rest of your army to attack. So generally, the go-to for a defense against lizard is 4 skunks. That deals with any common amount of lizards on the map. Try to figure out which way the lizards are going to come into your mill most likely. Whether due to how the map works, it's going to be likely to be one way, or if you've scouted an enemy army and you start initiating a base trade when you know where the enemy army is, so you know the lizards will be coming in from a certain direction. You always want your skunks or boar, which is also very good, is to be on the side of the lizards come in. Because if they have too many lizards, you'll still end up killing your mill. Like, especially like if the skunks or boar on the other side, they're gonna start doing your damage too late. If there's too many lizards, and they just end up killing, which would be unfortunate. You can use chameleons, but as I said, the chameleons need to be on the side of the mill until the lizards come in. Otherwise, if the lizards come in on the side of the mill, the chameleons aren't. The chameleons are going to spend way too long traveling around the mill. It's like only a second or two, but 30 lizards do 90 DPS. I mean, there's not going to be that much tiles around the mill, but it only takes so many seconds to kill a mill, so like every second counts. Also, 4 cams will at some point die to a smaller number of lizards than a boar or skunks, or 4 skunks will. Toads are not. Okay, so I actually didn't show a replay with toads. Okay, so with toads, you don't want to use them to defend. Unless you absolutely have to. What you want to do with toads is use someone to make your attacking army invincible or better than lizards. Since what I like to do a lot is like if I have Squirrel, Skunk, Toad. So I'll keep 4 skunks at the base. Then I'll move out with Squirrel, Toad. Since the lizards can't engage that army without taking a horrible trade. So like Toad Skrill is a very great attacking force, especially if it's a lower eco game or it's earlier in the game where you don't have a whole lot of tech. So like Skrill Toad, great pushing out force while you keep this 4 skunks at base. Barbed wire is also really nice for stopping the base trade because it's super cheap. Like this sell off, like barbed wire is super cheap. Even on a map of like say 2 or 3 inches in the middle, if it's not completely open, it's still worth it to put down a ton of wire. You still want friendly units though to to help defend the barbed wire at a rise to barbed wire. The barbed wire is probably not going to work by itself unless there's only one entrance to the mill. MGs can also be useful, and again, in conjunction with better units like skunks to defend your mill. This MGs block tiles that the lizards can get, and there's effective units. Mines are also pretty useful. Again, not by themselves, with better units like skunks. As far as units to defend the mill itself, you really want 4 skunks or a boar. And 4 cams can work. And yeah, those are pretty much the go-tos for this. That is the end of this video.